I'm Tilly Lockey. So when I was born, I was totally fine. I had all 4 limbs, happy, healthy baby. But then when I was 15 months old, I was diagnosed with a terrible disease called meningococcal septicemia strain B in its full name. But it's basically the inflammation of the membranes around the base of the spine and the brain. And that can often bring on septicemia, which is a form of blood poisoning. And that's what well and truly kills off limbs. I was given 0% chance of survival to the point where my family came into the room and they basically told them to say their goodbyes as they were shutting my body down. But it was after 1 week in intensive care, 3 weeks in recovery, a secondary infection which I later contracted, and 10 blood transfusions that somehow I managed to pull through. I survived and I'm here speaking to you today. I've been wearing prosthetics ever since the age of 2, and that's been a journey to say the least. I've been back and forth talking to different prosthetic companies, and the one I'm working with now who make these bionic arms, they're called Open Bionics, and they're just absolutely amazing. It's all about co-creation. Ever since I was 9, I've been trying out all the little prototypes, and they were very, very early prototypes at the time. And basically what I do is give my brutally honest feedback after wearing them day to day in my life. And the first thing I ever did with Open Bionics was we took them to Comic-Con in San Diego because I was wearing some arms that were designed after a video game. It was such early days that the prosthetics didn't even have ventilation in them at the time. So obviously we're in San Diego, it's 40-degree heat and there's no ventilation in the arm, and that caused a lot of problems. Literally got stuck in it a couple of times. So that was the first thing to get fixed. But even 9 years later, it's still back and forth, and it's just basically giving my feedback, what I think could be better, what I think isn't that great, and also giving my own ideas for the next sort of development. One feature that I put in this arm, and I'm a bit biased because obviously I created it, but it is my favorite, and I do find it very handy, excuse the pun, and if I basically squeeze my muscles all the way to close the hand, now if I carry on squeezing that same muscle, you'll see it flash blue, and there was a little beep there, and that's an icy blue representing freeze mode. So when that light is on, I cannot move the fingers whatsoever. When I operate my muscles, they won't move the fingers, and that's really, really helpful just for that extra sense of security. And that's really, really great for me, especially nowadays. I do a lot with music and performing, and that's exactly how I hold the microphone in the hand and know I can trust it, is I'll close my hand around it, freeze, and then I can just go about it and perform. So they're completely muscle operated, and it's actually only 2 muscles that control the entire hand. So that's squeeze to close and flex to open. And then if you flex again when the hand's already open, you'll see the button flash green and the thumb come around. And that's me changing the grip mode. There's also a little vibration on the inside. And then it sort of works like a menu system beyond that point. So you can cycle through, you can do a peace sign or a point or a little okay sign, little tiny pinches which can pick up the tiniest of beats. So it's really fun, especially to express myself with never having hands before. The number one thing that I've always believed in is how important it is that everybody has access to the sort of technology they need. There is a charity called Open Bionics Foundation, which collects donations and stuff, which supports people in that, which is so important. And we've actually just got them on the NHS here today, which is incredible because that's been a lot of trials. Getting on the NHS is a massive thing to do, and we've been doing it since 2017, and I was a part of all that, and it was finally confirmed this year, which is incredible. And now people in the UK can get them on the NHS, which is a massive deal. But of course, there's people all over the world who could benefit from this technology. So it's still really, really important to fundraise, get that money there, and have it accessible to everybody. That's the ultimate goal. I'm not rich. I think a lot of people have that misconception. They think I'm really, really rich, and I'm not. I've just been really, really lucky in my community, and my family have been so incredible with fundraising and support. My first prosthetic arms, they were priced at about £24,000, and my community up in the northeast literally raised that in 24 hours, and that to this day blows my mind. And I wouldn't be wearing this technology here today if it wasn't for everybody who got behind me in the very beginning, and all I can hope is for everybody else to have that support. So Now it's on the NHS and people can literally get it for free. I couldn't be prouder of us, like as a team, for accomplishing that. And in my personal life, I feel like recently we've really made a breakthrough in like the fashion and getting them in the media and seen in a beautiful light. Because before I was even offered like a prosthetic, I was given a glove and we sat down and received it, and my mum just went, "Oh, so what does it do then? Like, how do we operate it?" And the guy was like, "Oh, it doesn't do anything. You just like stick it on the end to make it look more normal and get less stares out and about." And that was just like, what? Like, that blew our mind, because I needed something like functional. We needed something to help. I wasn't looking for anything to like hide or mask it, like a literal glove. We wanted it to move. So as soon as that happened, it was like, okay, we're on a mission now. And it was just to develop a prosthetic arm that would really, really help. It was always about like removing the stigma from prosthetics. Like, they don't only need to be a medical device, they can actually be so much more. And that's why you'll see today, like, I cover them in glitter and everything, and I really use them as like a tool and a form of expression as well as a medical device, because they really help you out as well, you know. So getting them on London Fashion Week this year was such an awesome thing. It's so important for representation and for like little kids like myself growing up without hands to, you know, see that as well. And the first runway I did, I made it like a thing to take the hand off on the runway, just to show that, yeah, you're beautiful with prosthetics, but you're also beautiful without, you know, that's still a choice. If you are like a little girl or somebody else feeling low about anything, it's really, really easy to go on social media now and just see somebody who looks like you and helps you feel like a little bit less alone. I wanted to be able to put that in like a catchy tune, a catchy format. People are a lot more likely to put on a catchy tune than they are to like stick on an hour-long speech, you know? So I've kind of made it my mission to get these messages through in music in a way that people will hear it more and hopefully relate. So yeah, first single came out this year and I'm so proud of it, and I'm so grateful to everybody who's helped me accomplish that. And yeah, it's out on all streaming platforms now. I think there's a lot of advice that you could give everybody, but I think like the main thing for me and what I've learned throughout my life, and I'm still learning today, it's like it's so important just to be yourself. I've been like told like my capabilities a lot, like, oh, you'll never walk, you'll never play the piano. I'll now learn to play the piano, writing songs on piano and stuff like that. But also like, you don't need to hide away what makes you different. And I love Open Bionics so much because it's not just, okay, we're not hiding it away anymore. It's not even just accepting it, but it's accentuating that and seeing it in such a beautiful light. I'm just over the moon to be a part of that movement at all. Like, it's amazing. I'm Lockey. I'm making a difference. I'm making a full impact.